My name is Elena Voss, and at 38, I was the proud owner of Voss and Vale Interiors, a boutique luxury design firm nestled in the heart of downtown Chicago. I built the business from the ground up, starting with hand-painted furniture in a garage and now managing multi-million-dollar projects in penthouses overlooking Lake Michigan. My company had a reputation, elegance, discretion, and excellence. And I protected that reputation with the same intensity others reserved for protecting blood family, which is why what happened nearly broke me. It was early October, the kind of crisp morning where the air smells like smoke and cinnamon, and the city dresses itself in amber leaves and silver fog. I stood in the floor-to-ceiling windows of my office, coffee in hand, watching the street below breathe awake. Joggers passed in pairs, taxis honked in the distance, and the reflective glass of neighboring buildings caught the soft orange blush of sunrise. Behind me, the office buzzed to life. Phones ringing, printers humming, designers murmuring over layouts. Everything was running like the well-oiled, high-pressure machine I'd spent years perfecting. And yet, something had started to feel off. Subtle, like a draft in a sealed room. The numbers weren't adding up. Invoices from suppliers, ones we hadn't used in months. Material orders that didn't match the projects. Overdrawn project budgets that should have had ample cushion. It was all too scattered to be a coincidence and too frequent to ignore. That morning, as the smell of freshly brewed espresso blended with hints of lilac diffusers and printed paper, I called in my operations manager, Camille Brenner, for a meeting. Camille was 34, sharp as a razor and dressed like one of the models we staged in photo shoots. Always sleek. Always expensive. She'd been with me for 3 years and had worked her way up fast, always asking the right questions, always taking initiative. She walked in with her usual purposeful stride, tablet in hand, navy silk blouse buttoned just enough to flirt with the edge of workplace appropriateness. "You wanted to see me?" she asked, flashing that subtle, curated smile of hers, half sincere, half polished performance. "I've been going through the ledgers," I said, motioning toward the screen. "There are discrepancies. Missing funds, duplicate orders. Anything you know about this?" Camille leaned in, eyes scanning the monitor. "That's strange," she said, tapping her nails thoughtfully against her tablet. "Could be a software glitch. Maybe the new intern mixed something up in procurement." But I knew better. My instincts weren't easily swayed. And Camille, well, she was just too composed. I'd spent enough time around liars to recognize when someone was dancing too carefully around the truth. "Start an internal audit," I told her. "Today." She nodded too quickly. "Of course." But as she turned to leave, something flickered in her eyes, a flash of worry so brief it could have been a shadow passing through her thoughts. Except I saw it. I always saw it. That night, I stayed late, alone in the office with only the hum of the cleaning crew and the distant pulse of the city. I dove into the bank statements myself, poring over months of transactions. That's when I found it a pattern. A shell vendor, Villain Design Supply Company. Over $50,000 routed through for premium Italian marble and fixtures. But the marble never arrived, and the vendor address traced back to a UPS drop box in Evanston. My stomach coiled. I cross-referenced the name with our supplier contacts. Nothing. No record of any real company under that name. But the wire transfers had Camille's digital signature. She'd even approved the POs. I leaned back in my chair, cold dread crawling over my skin like frost. She had been stealing from me. Not pennies. Not samples or kickbacks. She was bleeding my company from the inside. Quietly, methodically, like a parasite that knew just how deep to go without killing the host. And I hadn't seen it until it was too late. But it wouldn't be too late for long. The next morning, I called my lawyer, Victor Drager, and by noon, Camille was sitting across from me in my office again. Same silk blouse, same poise, but her smile now had a tremor beneath it. I showed her the proof, the statements, the false supplier, and the routing number that led straight to an account under her name. She didn't even deny it at first. She stared for a moment, lips parted slightly, as though trying to gauge how much I truly knew. "You went into my personal information?" she said finally, her voice sharp, defensive. "I went into my company's accounts," I replied coldly. "And what I found is a felony." Camille's expression hardened. Her shoulders drew back, chin lifting, as if steeling herself for something bigger. "You're making a mistake," she said. "You don't want this kind of war." "War?" I repeated, astonished. "You stole from me. You fire me, I sue," she said, eyes flat now, voice low. "Wrongful termination, harassment, retaliation, whatever sticks. And you'll spend more on legal defense than what I ever took." I stared at her, silent. The audacity was staggering, the confidence chilling. She smiled then, truly smiled, like a snake curling around a warm rock. "You think I don't know how this game works? You're not the only one with power, Elena." I said nothing, but inside, a slow burn was beginning. It wasn't fear. It wasn't even anger. It was resolve. She thought she knew power. She thought this was the game. But I built this empire from nothing. I buried competitors who had decades on me. I outmaneuvered clients who'd tried to bully me, cheated vendors who tried to stiff me, and clawed every inch of this life with blood under my nails. And Camille Brenner was about to find out exactly what kind of war she had just declared. For 3 days after I fired Camille, I waited for the explosion. I knew her too well to believe she'd just slink away into silence. She was calculating, predatory, and unshakably confident. Exactly the kind of person who didn't believe consequences applied to her. On the 4th morning, it hit. A formal complaint, delivered to my office via courier, sealed in a blue folder that practically hummed with venom. My assistant, Mira, pale as chalk, placed it on my desk like it was radioactive. "From Camille's attorney," she said, voice hushed. I opened it with calm fingers, though my heart thumped with quiet, tight dread. Wrongful termination, defamation of character, breach of contract, emotional distress. The list read like a manifesto. Attached was a demand for $250,000 in damages, or we could prepare for a public court case. "She's serious," Mira whispered. "She's really trying to sue you?" "No," I said flatly, flipping to the final page. "She's trying to extort me." I stared at the signature line beneath her lawyer's name. Lucas Finch. ESQ, I knew the name. Finch was a courtroom pyromaniac, famous for flipping facts, tearing reputations apart, and burying victims in so much red tape they'd settle just to breathe again. She hadn't hired some backroom hack. She'd gone for a scorched earth strategist. Camille wasn't bluffing. Victor, my attorney, wasn't impressed. She doesn't have a leg to stand on legally. You caught her red-handed. She's not trying to win in court, I said. She's trying to bleed me dry before it gets there. Make me look like the monster. She'll play the female executive targeted by her bitter boss card. Paint herself as the whistleblower who got too close to some shady numbers and got fired for it. Victor nodded slowly. It's the long game. And I'm going to end it before it begins. He raised a brow. What are you planning? Evidence. Not just the paper trail. I want everything. Every email, every message, every dime she touched. I want proof that this wasn't a one-time embezzlement. I want the story under the surface. Victor leaned back, hands folded. That'll mean getting someone inside her world. I already knew who. His name was Nathan Cole, 32, a cybersecurity contractor I'd worked with during a breach scare last year. Quiet, brilliant, and ethically flexible. The kind of man who could dig digital graves and resurrect lost ghosts from buried servers. He met me after hours in my office, under dimmed lights and drawn blinds. Camille, I said, sliding the dossier toward him, has skeletons. I need to find them. I need them documented. admissible, explosive. Nathan looked through the file, tapping into her email accounts, private backups, Slack logs. "I'll start with metadata," he said. "If she sent company files to personal accounts, spoofed invoices, faked supplier data, there'll be fingerprints." As he worked, the tension twisted inside me. Camille was no ordinary thief. She was playing a longer game than I'd anticipated, and now I needed to move faster. The next day, I got my second hit of venom, a viral social media post. Camille had gone public. A photo of her, bruised-looking, dramatically lit in grayscale, captioned, "Fired for asking too many questions." My boss didn't want anyone looking too closely at her books. I won't be silenced. Hashtag female leadership, hashtag whistleblower, hashtag truth matters. In under 6 hours, it was shared over 50,000 times. I watched, stone-faced, as design bloggers, former clients, and even a few industry rivals reposted it with blind support. She didn't name me, not directly, but she didn't have to. Everyone in our field knew who her former boss was. "She's poisoning the well," Victor muttered. "She's rewriting the narrative," I corrected. "And unless I rewrite it first, she wins." But it wasn't just online buzz that struck. That afternoon, our largest corporate client, a tech firm renovating 10 floors of their new HQ, suspended our contract, pending resolution of internal issues. A $3 million hit, gone overnight. I was bleeding now. That night, Nathan called. She was clever, he said. Used dummy accounts, VPNs, remote devices. But she got cocky. He sent over folder. Inside were email threads between Camille and someone named RS. The tone was familiar, conspiratorial. They weren't just talking about stealing, they were planning. She wasn't acting alone, Nathan confirmed. She had help, possibly from someone in your own office. The messages discussed fabricating invoices, timing withdrawals between bank reconciliations, and even mocking the idiot boss who could decorate a penthouse but couldn't smell a scam. And then came the twist. RS was not just anyone. It was my head accountant, Riley Shore, 27, fresh out of an elite business school, bright-eyed and fiercely loyal, or so I had thought. I'd hired her myself, mentored her. My stomach dropped as I stared at the messages. Riley is the one who built the fake shell companies, Nathan said. Camille just gave her the confidence to act. The betrayal felt physical. I looked around my office. The walls I had designed, the trophies I had earned, the photos of smiling clients, and I saw ghosts now. Shadows behind every compliment, every praise Camille had once given me. I had nurtured this team. I had trusted them. And now 2 of them had stolen not just my money, but my name, my brand, my truth. But it wasn't over. Now I had names. Now I had firepower. They had played a careful, elegant con. Now it was time to burn their game to the ground. It was a Wednesday morning when everything detonated. I had barely slept, my mind gnawed by betrayal, anxiety, and a blueprint for revenge I was sketching piece by piece. Nathan's latest report sat in my inbox, damning and detailed. Emails, transfers, time logs, falsified records. Camille and Riley had built a full-fledged siphoning system under my nose, stretching back almost 11 months. The plan was simple. Present the findings to law enforcement, file a civil countersuit, release a press statement with all the evidence, and kill Camille's smear campaign before it went viral enough to stick. But I didn't even get the chance, because someone beat me to it. The news broke at 8:47 a.m. Whistleblower exposes fraud ring inside Voss and Vale Interiors. CEO, Elena Voss implicated. I stared at the screen as if it had just punched me. The headline was from The Ledger, a well-known investigative outlet. They didn't publish fluff. They published facts. Or what looked like facts. The article was brutal. It accused me of masterminding a multi-layered embezzlement scheme, using employees as cutouts to funnel money into offshore accounts. Camille was painted as a brave whistleblower who uncovered the truth and paid the price for speaking out. Riley Shore was mentioned by name as a witness cooperating with federal investigators. And then the bomb. Attached was a leaked video clip. It showed me in my office, saying the words, "If this ever gets out, we're both finished. Just bury it, Riley. Now." It was dated 2 months ago. I had no memory of saying it, but I recognized my voice, my office, my clothes, except the conversation never happened. Not like that. My mouth went dry. My fingers trembled on the trackpad. I hit replay, watched it again. It was a deep fake. A good one. The lighting was perfect. My voice pattern matched, but something was off in the expressions. Too symmetrical. Too polished. I'd seen this tech before in corporate security briefings. AI-generated video manipulation. Cutting edge, hard to detect unless you were looking for it. But the public wouldn't be looking for it. They'd just see it. And believe it. I picked up the phone and called Nathan. "No, hello. Just." They deep-faked me. A pause. "Send me the clip," he said, voice low. "I'll trace the source metadata. If it's been uploaded from a burner or anonymized server, I might still find a digital trail." "They flipped Riley," I said. "She's gone full turncoat." Nathan didn't answer at first. "Elena," he finally said. "It's worse than that." "What?" "She didn't flip. She was never with you." The next hour unraveled me. Nathan had been combing Riley's cloud backups. And what he found wasn't just complicity, it was design. Riley hadn't just been following Camille's lead. She had been engineering the theft from the beginning. Camille was the front. Riley was the architect. She had created Villain Design Supply Company months before Camille ever started approving the fake invoices. The routing numbers went to 2 accounts, one in Camille's name, the other hidden behind a numbered account in the Cayman Islands. That account was traced back to Riley's encrypted credentials. She baited Camille into playing the obvious villain, Nathan said, knowing that when it blew up, all eyes would land on her, and away from Riley. "Camille knew?" I said. Eventually, yeah. But by then, Riley had everything in place. The shell companies, the legal fall guy, even the lawyer Camille hired. Lucas Finch, he's Riley's cousin, registered under a firm in her father's name. They staged the lawsuit. I stared at the wall in silence, my reflection in the office glass looking unfamiliar. Smaller, stripped. They had groomed this entire scenario, turned me into the villain of my own empire. The woman who had built everything now portrayed as the wolf behind the doors. And Riley, my protege, my trusted hire, had worn the perfect mask. Mira burst into my office minutes later, breathless. "They're here." "Who?" She didn't need to answer. 2 men in dark suits walked through the doorway. Federal agents, badges out. One of them, Agent Kwan, handed me a sealed subpoena and motioned toward the glass-walled conference room. "This is regarding allegations of financial misconduct, Ms. Voss. We'd like to ask you a few questions." My ears rang. Time fractured. I heard my voice say, "Of course," while the floor felt like it was buckling beneath me. They grilled me for nearly an hour about company finances, supplier relationships, offshore transactions. I answered everything with what dignity I had left, knowing each word I spoke could be twisted and replayed in court. They had no arrest warrant. Not yet. Just a storm cloud hanging above, ready to crack open. When they finally left, Mira hovered in the doorway. "What do we do?" she whispered. I stared at the computer, at the article, at the still frame of my supposed confession. "We go dark," I said. No statements. No social media. No calls. From this point on, no one gets access to company files except me and Nathan. But the clients? We don't have clients, I said. We have snakes in the grass, and we're going to smoke them out. I paused. They came into my house, used my face, my voice, my company. I gave them a future, and they gave me a noose. Myra's expression hardened. So what now?
Now?
Now it was war. And I was going to show Riley Shore and Camille Brenner what happened when you tried to bury a woman like me. 3 weeks after Camille's lawsuit and the media detonation, my name had become radioactive. Clients dropped like fruit from a poison tree. Investors ghosted. The office grew quieter each day. Half my staff resigned, unwilling to get caught in the crossfire. Voss and Vale Interiors, once a sleek machine of luxury and power, was now a fractured shell of lawsuits, NDAs, and scorched reputation. Riley Shore had vanished, disconnected her personal phone, deleted her social media. No one had seen her since the day the article dropped. Camille, on the other hand, had become a star. She gave interviews, walked panels, smiled through sympathetic spotlights with a voice perfectly shaken but defiant. She played the victim to perfection, the ambitious employee punished for daring to speak out. I watched one of her televised interviews in my darkened office, jaw-locked, as she said, "I loved my job. I believed in our vision. But when I found out what was going on, I couldn't stay silent." Applause. Hashtags. Endorsements. I wasn't just losing. I was being erased. But I wasn't done. Because what Riley and Camille didn't know was that I had one last card. One I had kept in my back pocket, quiet and buried for years. A tool meant for leverage in a different war, never meant to be used. Until now. Its name was Obsidian. Obsidian was a private AI monitoring system Nathan and I had developed, originally to flag fraudulent purchase orders, time theft, and IP breaches across our contractor network. It logged keystrokes, voice clips, biometric access points, everything. It never went live due to legal risk. But quietly, I kept it running in a single terminal, disconnected from the main network. Hidden. The night after the ruling, I stood alone in my gutted office. The walls were bare. The furniture sold. Voss and Vale Interiors was officially closed. But this was not an ending. It was a reset. Because sometimes you don't rebuild from ashes. You rise from them. 2 months had passed since the war ended. Chicago had thawed from winter's grip. The city pulsed with spring now. Cherry blossoms bleeding pink into the streets, patios reopening, people breathing again. The world moved on, as it always does. It didn't care about names dragged through courtrooms or reputations shattered in comment sections. But I did. My name, Elena Voss, once lit up headlines as a rising star in luxury design. Now it lingered in silence, untouched, avoided, even pitted. My legal exoneration didn't restore what was lost. No fanfare followed. No apology trended. The truth, though sharp and ironclad, rarely traveled as fast as scandal. And yet, I wasn't bitter. Bitterness is for those who expect fairness. I never did. I lived in a quiet loft now, smaller, stripped down, high above the river where the city lights danced on the black water at night. No more staff. No schedules. No Voss and Vale Interiors. The firm was dead. By my hand. I'd liquidated everything after the court cleared me. I didn't want to salvage the brand. The building stank of betrayal, Riley's perfume, Camille's laughter, the hum of conversations that turned into knives. What I needed wasn't rebuilding. I needed erasure. The world thought I was ruined, but I'd made sure, very carefully, to walk away with every dollar they didn't find. The offshore holdings, the insurance settlements, the discreet buyouts of assets I transferred before the scandal hit full force. I wasn't just surviving. I was evolving. Victor had offered to take me back into the fight, to rebuild my name, to take revenge a step further. Public redemption, he'd called it. You've got enough ammo to launch a counter-campaign. Hire a crisis PR team, do a documentary, give them the real story. But I declined. I didn't want redemption. I didn't want cameras. I didn't want to win the crowd back. Because once you've seen how easily they cheer for your execution, you stop needing their cheers at all. Camille never returned to Chicago. Through the grapevine, I learned she took a job at a low-tier architecture firm in Seattle under a different name. I imagined her there, wearing humility like an ill-fitting dress, watching the world she once believed was hers shrink to something she could barely influence. But she had chosen survival, and that I respected in a way. Riley Shore, however, was gone. She pleaded out. Fraud, conspiracy, digital impersonation. Her sentence, 7 years in federal prison. No chance of parole until 4. Victor said she cried during the hearing. I didn't watch. She was smart, brilliant even. But brilliance turns toxic without a conscience. She had mistaken ambition for immunity. She thought if she built a lie clever enough, it could become the truth. But truth always finds its voice, especially when it's whispered by the ones you least expect. One evening, as the sky cracked open with thunder and the scent of petrichor drifted through my window, I lit a cigarette, a rare indulgence. I hadn't smoked in years, but tonight felt like it called for a ritual. I sat in the silence of the loft, legs curled beneath me, staring at an old photo on the table. Me, 5 years ago, standing in front of the Voss and Vale sign, flanked by my first 2 hires. Both gone now, both ghosts. That woman in the photo had believed in structure, in fairness, in merit. She thought if you worked hard and treated people with dignity, they would return the same. She hadn't yet learned that loyalty is conditional, that people lie with ease when you feed them with trust, that sometimes the monster in your house isn't at the door, it's at your desk. I was not that woman anymore, and strangely, I didn't mourn her. Weeks later, a package arrived at my door. No return address. Inside was a single black flash drive. No note. No explanation. I plugged it into a burner laptop, careful. It was a video. A candid recording, grainy, low resolution from what looked like a hidden camera. Riley and Camille sitting in a cafe, laughing, months before the scandal. Riley said, "If I ever go down, I'll take Elena with me. Let's see if she can redesign herself out of that." Camille's reply, "If she's smart, she'll stay down." I watched it twice. Then I dragged the file to the trash bin, emptied it, and closed the laptop. Let them have their last words. I had already written the ending. It was midnight when I stepped out onto the balcony, rain still faint on the wind, and made a decision. I wouldn't rebuild Voss and Vale, but I would build again. Something smaller, sharper, private clients only, no employees, no investors, just me, and a new name, EV, marks, already registered. Already whispered in exclusive design circles, like a secret past between the rich. No past, no brand to bleed, only clean slate and fire. They tried to bury me, but they forgot one thing. I dig graves better than anyone, and I never leave them empty. Justice wasn't about courtrooms or apologies. For Elena Voss, justice was silent, calculated, and absolute.